Hi, guys, and welcome to this episode of Brewing E-commerce. My guest today is like a very rare find because if I try to put different people in this frame, they are usually not seen. Because what Saurav and what his team has built at Marmeto stands for bootstrapping, and something that they are really, really gung about is technology. And I'm so happy to have Saurav with me today. Welcome, Saurav.
No, thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. We have been interacting in all different ways, and I think this is a great opportunity that we both have met and finally are in great conversation.
Absolutely. So for anybody listening, we are partners. We work together with a lot of Saurav's team. But I've heard so much about Saurav, and we've never had a chance to actually sit together. So, like he said, right, I am so looking forward because there are a lot of stories, a lot of learnings that I'm going to extract the best out of him today, and that's what Brewing E-commerce is all about.
Perfect. Perfect.
So let's start from the beginning, Saurav. Uh, for the people, I don't think they would not know you, but let me just add a few things that if they don't know you is you are running one of the largest Shopify Plus agency out of India. Most of the time, when you're not talking to people like me, I'm sure you're talking to the customers and trying to figure out what to do. But you built an awesome team. People in the market know that if they're going to Marmeto, they need to be a size, a scale, and driven kind of a thing, right? Which is so hard to do, and we are going to come to that, but I want to start from where it really began, sort of. So a little bit of your background and how about Marmeto came into life.
Okay. So I'll go from the background and then eventually the story ahead.
Yes.
Uh, I come from Bihar. I was born in Bihar, and and not to being very fussy about it, I would say that I love the place from where I came because I think a lot of my traits, characteristics, fundamentals have grown from there.
Yeah.
I come from a very lower middle class family, to be very precise, and I learned engineering in a very different way how my mom used to do at homes. Um, when you mold the soap from two separate pieces to run few more days, when you put water in the shampoo bottle till its last breath, when you cut the toothpaste and swipe the soul out of it.
Yeah.
So those were our primary necessities. That's how half of our months used to live. And I
Mm.
think that gave me a sense, or at least that gave me a purpose that okay, something bigger has to happen in order for me to compensate for all of these types. That was what the birth was. I then from there I transitioned into a gurukul. My early education has happened there,
Mhm.
and I think there I got a blend of waking 5 in the morning, dhoti kurta, meditations, and with that classes, and then serving your entire dormitory before eating your own food, cleaning the entire toilets and washrooms before going to sleep. A lot of sustainable practices was what I grew up with,
Mm.
and I think a combination of both makes a very maybe conscious man, I would say.
Mm.
When we came to, I went for my engineering, came to Bangalore, and that's when I met Shashwat, my other
Yeah.
founder from my college, and we started the first company into textbook rentals, book rental firm. He started it way earlier, and I joined him
Mm.
later in college. And we thought that how in US and all we have back then. This is back in 2013, 14 around. There
Mm.
were great successful book rental businesses. We thought we would make one.
Mm.
Uh, Definitely first time entrepreneurs, and we were not understanding that unit economics, profitability, cash flow are things. So that I think shut down eventually after our college. And that gave us the learnings or understandings of okay, how to really not use money, what all you did wrong, because we never thought that okay, I need to borrow or to ask money to do my own business. My concept was very simple, that okay, if I want to do something, why would someone pay me to do what I need to? So
Right.
from the very beginning, ignorance is bliss. I never thought that this concept uh, exists, that okay,
Mm.
someone is going to pay me.
Sure.
My parents definitely were not on the list.
Yeah.
Not even in terms of angels, they could have given me moral support. So I think that's the origin of our thought process of me and Shashwat of bootstrapping.
Nice.
Uh, Prabhat also joined us in the in the Marmeto journey. That when failed, we went our different ways, and Shashwat, some reason, experienced service industry's nuances. That hey, this service industry really needs a change.
Hmm.
That led him to talk to me. I was good at creating teams and getting things done.
Hmm.
Um, and Prabhat was the one who would do the things because he was the technical guy in us.
Sure.
And that's when we three met and Marmeto started. Shashwat would think I would get it done through Prabhat. We three people as a team and we started. We picked up commerce because
Hmm.
commerce was what we knew. In our
Okay.
textbook renting business,
Yeah.
commerce is what we did,
Deep down. Yeah.
and we were ourselves doing deliveries, doing marketing, doing the site. Back then, it was on Magento, so we understood the back end, the front end, the operations. So we knew that okay, this is the best that we know. So let's get into it, and that's when Marmeto started. The idea is to become one of the biggest commerce transformation companies because we are good at it and we have been doing it, and now it's become such a part of us that this is what we can do best.
Yeah.
So that's how, in quickly, I can say that from origin to the
I would
journey.
just add one word there, Saurabh, is biggest transformation company globally, because I know, you are scaling, you have business in the US, in the UK, Australia, etc. Right? So, which has, I think, truly been very transformational for you guys, and I think inspiration to everybody in that way.
No problem. No problem.
Super. So I, I've spoken to a lot of brands, and luckily we also share a lot of brands that we work with together, right? While I'm going to get into the controversial questions a bit later, but I want to understand that from your perspective, sort of there are two parts which an agency is, I think, very tough in today's market, right? One is there is one kind of a Shopify or an e-commerce or a performance marketing agency in every street now, right? The technology is also making it more accessible for people to use PMax and Advanced Plus all by themselves and stuff like that, right? So that's how it is. But second, the way you developed is you've gone ahead and created a niche for you in this entire Maslow, if I would call it, right? Like, I know brands and they would go, it's like, oh no, Marmeto, I think, rather than the other way, that say, hey, this is the brand is too big for us, we're not going to work with them. People will say, no, no, Marmeto is something they're not going to take us. How the heck did you guys do this?
No, no, I think I've also heard it a lot of times. People, we meet people and they are like, "You're too expensive. What do you do that you are too expensive?" And so I say that yeah, primarily what happened is that you always, and I say this not for us but for any company, and you see history, they were always one step ahead in order to solve problems, and that is what, if gets valued, gets you paid well. So the pay the paid well component definitely is a byproduct, but the idea is that all the brands who would really come to us, all the companies would come to us. We did first things first for them, and I think that's how this whole psyche got developed. If you look at our team composition, for 6 years of our journey, I would say primarily 5 years, there was nothing like a marketing team. There was nothing like a sales team. Even till date, we never had run ads for us.
Yeah.
So our entire company, we never had, yeah. So nothing. It was all tech and management, and I was juggling between things. So why all of this would paid off at such a scale is because we are always one step ahead. So I say that when, imagine, I would take you back to the Shopify early ecosystem. We
Hmm.
were on the first one to make it adapt locally. I would say
Yeah.
that's the we at a point we were even extended team for Shopify for enterprises.
Yeah.
We used to work with them in order to get it done. And why? Because even then there were companies. The reason was that we understood that hey, this platform is suited for global needs,
Hmm.
it definitely needs someone to enable it for local needs. uh, we picked
Yeah.
that up. So
Hmm.
while everyone, I would not generalizing, but mostly what we saw service companies around were trying to do the usual cosmetic things, we were really solving the localization gaps, and that gave us an edge.
Hmm.
And it has always been like that, that we have been solving problems first, and then it's all there in the market and people are doing it.
Hmm.
Not to be arrogant about it, but to be proud and very humble about it. That
Absolutely.
that it's only that is a differentiator for you, and that is why people who understand that, hey, they are cracking it for the first time, are those people who really value technology.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if people feel that, hey, they're gonna come to us and say that do this, do that, they are gonna be disappointed because we're not executioners. We don't want to be called executioners.
Hmm.
So that has somehow in itself made became a mystery, or maybe that experience just went out in the ecosystem. People started feeling that, hey, these guys don't reach out, and because
Yeah.
we could not, we were busy solving all the work that we already had, so we could not reach out. So that worked in our favor, but I think right now we are at a good spot. uh, Definitely to keep us in on top of our edge, there are R&D teams, there are analysts, and there are the team composition. Still, we don't still have a mainstream marketing team, as we are talking today. Also, we don't have a very flamboyant partnerships team, you would know well.
Yeah.
There are not tons of people in the sales department, where we are growing somewhere 150 200 team size. So all of that means that there is a lot of focus on building technology first things.
Yeah.
And tech is expensive. I won't shy away from it. So
Yeah.
that's the way that we are.
Yeah. Like, I 1,000% resonate with what you're saying, Saurabh, because what we are trying to do is something similar. I think we're a little ahead in the market. Trying a lot of our effort is in user education. The value part, we're still not there. Still getting there, still learning every single day. But it is so hard to go and tell people something new that they haven't heard of. And trying to get those early adopters. Um, but I know when I talk to Anand, he always tells me from your team that um, we don't have sales guys, and we don't do outreach. Most of our thing is very inbound. And if I talk to any other agency, the switch is completely flipped.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? So that is amazing. Um, on your focus, Saurav, I know, like you mentioned, that you've been in the Shopify days earlier, and I am part of a lot of Slack channels, WhatsApp groups, a lot of founders, D2C meetups, and stuff like that, right? Um, One of the still very fundamental question that brands ask: should I choose Shopify over someone else? And I think you are a good person to have a perspective because you've come from the Magento days and you still work with Salesforce and all the other things, etc. Right? Uh, I would like your answer split in two parts here. Like, if I'm a founder who's starting a new brand, what would should be the choice of my platform between year 0 to 3 and 3 to scale, please?
Got it. Perfect. I think what I would say is your journey on the stage would matter less, more than the complexity of your business. What happens is we choose technology stacks basis of what is the business complexity,
Hmm.
what is the investment appetite,
Hmm.
and what is the size and scale of sustainability. So, for example, let me give you this in different ways. You say, Saurav, I've got 5 CR.
Hmm.
I need to make it 15 CR and I've got only 1 year.
Okay.
Situation one. Situation two, Saurav, I've got 5 CR. I have got 3 years to make it 15 CR.
Hmm.
Let me know. Point three. So I've got 5 CR, but only 1 CR to spend in technology, and I've got 5 years to make it 15 CR.
Yeah.
In all these situations, my answers would vary because it's the complexity of your business flow that defines what platform to pick.
Oh, wow. Never thought of it from this lens. Okay.
So yeah, that's the thing. So it's about uh, simple example. Let me tell you, you start a business of hyper local delivery.
Hmm.
You say, hey, sort of day one, my product is a hyperlocal delivery product. What should be our technology stack? Definitely no Shopify, no BigCommerce or Salesforce. Get into quick commerce and get it rolling.
Hmm. Hmm.
You say, hey, Saurav, my business is into, I would give you an example. Let's say Epigamia. We work with them.
Hmm.
Do you think Shopify or a BigCommerce or their storefront would be their primary business? No.
Yeah.
People would pick up code faster on Swiggy, Instamart, Blinkit, even on their standing stores. So
Totally.
my answer to them in terms of what technology stack would again vary, because why to invest so much into what's not even your primary channel? Now,
Super.
second business who are selling cements online,
Hmm.
and they say that, hey, Saurav, there has to be a certain way of purchase order, and there has to be
Hmm.
a complexity of business behind it to be get approved, and you can't just procure it and sell it. And they
Hmm.
say, okay, now you need something which has got a good B2B use case,
Hmm.
and not all the time all the platforms have got everything. So I feel, looking at the business flow, the answer changes, but to give a direction, I would say D2C,
Hmm.
website selling, Shopify definitely is a primary accepted part.
Hmm.
Reason, because very, very quick to
Get
adopt and
up and
scale.
running. Yeah. Hmm.
The channels are very, very well sorted.
Hmm.
If you are working on your own, so let's say if you get to, obviously, I'm saying this when you have done your marketplace thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sure.
it's the journey starts after it. First of all, prove your product on the marketplace,
Totally.
then look at the business flow.
Hmm.
Then the third part will be to understand what platforms help in this particular business flow
Right.
and for how long. So we work on this approach to help you with an answer, because each time the answer on a different use case is gonna
Very
vary.
interesting. Very interesting. I think again everything needs to be very ROI driven nowadays because
Yes.
money is again bootstrap. Who knows it better than you? But money is still lesser than in the market than it was a few years back, and you have to look at the potential return on how it's going to be. And it's like funny thing is like my wife will just generally when we chit chat over coffee and she like how are things going. I'm like okay. She's like, okay, I think everything under control. I'm like, just the function of time and money, time and money, time and money. Like you can you can go and succeed in anything in life if you have unlimited time and unlimited money, but you
Correct,
don't
correct,
have that. So it's
correct.
always the way.
No, I think right now these days D2C, primarily D2C is a very ROI driven market, has always been.
Yeah,
Tech, it's a very, very tough spot that tech should not become a burden, and even tech should become a marketing asset to generate returns on implementations.
yeah,
So you also are always on a very thin line of looking at, okay, I am saying the health of the system will increase. Okay, that's fine. Secondary. What will it impact on the
what will
AOV? How will it impact on the revenue?
yeah,
So that's
well,
also an edge
yeah.
that comes in.
Totally. But I'll tell you the other side of this or very funny things is so like at Koi we track ROI, right? We say that if you pay us 100 rupees, we at least will generate a 5x return of investment, right? That's just and then it goes up to whatever number. But then when some of the smaller guys who are just getting into the system, they'll be like, okay, so you have 5x attribution here. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, this traffic came from Facebook, did this, did that, whatever. I'm like, okay, so what do you want? And they're like, but if I add up all the attribution, the sales will be three times what it's not. So I'm like, okay, let's get a triple whale. Okay, do you want to have that? And we will get a good picture. No, that's too expensive. I can't do it. So it's such a vicious circle that they
It
attribution is such a huge problem still.
it is, and I think that's the next thing I was about to come there only is that commerce right now has barely scratched the surface here.
Yeah,
We still have such a vicious commerce market out there, the retail one. So omni or unifications are still so non-touched, not understood.
hmm,
What we have just understood is, okay, 10 systems plugged in, 10 dashboards giving me 10 data. What convinces my soul is the one that I'm going to believe on,
totally.
and just align to it.
Yeah,
And so that's what our focus also is right now, changing into how do we really make a better unified experience, how do we work on unified commerce, and these elements are something that right now I feel are the next level challenges, and same, always solve for the next. So that's what even we at Marmeto are trying to do, that okay, how our consumers are aware of what is data here is not the data actually,
Yeah,
and you need to really understand what systems to trust,
yeah,
what not to trust.
yeah.
That's the thing.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think there are things being done in bits and pieces, but of course it takes time. Scalability, interoperability is again a big
Correct,
challenge, right?
correct, correct,
So
correct.
let me ask you this, sort of that today the market is very very different than what 4 or 5 years back it was. It was like a boom of D2C. I still remember reading a report, I think maybe last year, saying there are at least 50 D2C brands being launched in India on a daily basis. Right? And again, e-commerce comes with a very, very high failure rate. Right?
Correct.
So if today I had to start a brand, right, what would be my top three or top five priorities that I should focus on? Your tips, please.
I would say, same similar from a report. I remember I was reading Gartner's some report, and it was discussing about customer experience.
Hmm.
So, but I'll go in order. The first one definitely is localization.
Hmm.
That's step one. CSA research has also done a survey where they say that, they did across 30 countries. They did a survey close to 10,000 people, 9,000 people.
Hmm.
And they said that 76% of buyers straightforward said that if it's not native, I don't feel native, I won't shop. So first of all is localization is a thing.
Hmm.
No matter how much we say, because see, we all connect on ground level, on human level locally.
Hmm.
So that has to reflect on the brand in the topography that they are serving. It will come through the interface of the store, it will come through the shopping experiences that you give, it will come through the kind of discountings you give, offers you release,
Hmm.
the kind of payment options you put, the kind of currencies you show them.
Hmm.
All of that becomes a part of that localization.
Hmm.
The second part, I believe, is discoverability, working on the right metrics of getting searched more.
Hmm.
This could be in terms of the right URL structures. It could be the right way of backlinks that you need to start doing day one, because all of this compound in the future. You can't go in the future and say, okay, now if
Hmm.
you really have to start today and you have got a lot of gyan all available on the internet, this is something that you should not skip and pick up.
Hmm.
Then I feel comes is the CX piece.
Hmm.
Same, the report I'm talking about, that no differentiators right now are so hard in the market that almost 80% of companies working in similar streams just compete on customer experience.
Hmm.
I don't say, let's say a Marmeto could be, let's say, if too small to believe Gartner, believe McKinsey's, they all are saying this, shouting it out loud. So I think that's the third piece, because you are also competing with at the same time Amazons and the likes of,
Totally.
so
Yeah.
the deliverability, the
Yeah.
the touch points. So I feel that experience is the other part that you should focus on, and then again, ROI driven implementations. I would find it hard to say, but I'm saying it's the need of the hour, that every step that you do, everything you implement, every function, app, systems you do has to have some sort of an ROI. Because apart from that, it's all vicious. Like I said, so it's very vicious that okay, something you are investing money in, bleeding money in, and is not getting ROI. So I feel if you are aware of these, the first is the implementation in terms of keeping localization in mind. The
Hmm.
second is discoverability in mind, all the implementations keeping in fact discoverability in mind, ROI driven implementations, and then a good investment on CX.
Hmm.
A 20% year on year increase worldwide has happened on CX as a department,
Hmm.
as tools, as
Hmm.
practices after
Hmm.
COVID. So, impact of CS has really increased. So I think these three, four metrics would help you solve well. I'm not saying don't do everything, but pick up one things and don't measure everything on day one.
Yeah.
Don't go crazy measuring. Oh, okay, I have now got 100 charts to measure. No, it's
Yeah.
okay.
No.
But these are primarily the four areas I think we need to
Excellent.
discuss.
I think you summarized it very nicely, right from the tech to bringing things in and then measuring it all the way through. I'd like to also just share some experience here. Is we offer a 21-day free trial, right? We generate a report and all that, try to make the onboarding. But there have been so many times when the brands that onboard us, I always tell them that it's not free, and they're
Okay.
like, "What do you mean?" I don't want to pay until unless I know your platform. No, no, I'm saying no, no, I'm not talking about the money part. I'm talking about your time, because time is an opportunity as well, right? Even if it's
Okay.
free, we are doing it free, but you have to devote time and attention. Otherwise, it's never going to work. And I think this concept, uh, more and more people also need to understand, because as a founder, you know this better than me, sort of. You're always pressed on time, right? So you have to pick your battles, and you very nicely said that just take a few KPIs, understand what the priorities are, and then focus on that, and then just go. Don't go and try and do 10 things, because you'll not be able to do it.
Not be able to. 100%. We have now this has become a story 7 years when people say I have to go live in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
And I say, what will you do? I will make you go live in 3 weeks, and then you will struggle 3 weeks saying, okay, what do I do now? I've gone live.
yeah, that's
How
true.
do I deliver? So we have done the cycle a lot of times over all these years.
Yeah,
That I tell brands that take a back seat, understand what do you need to do. Be aware that what do you mean by going live? You mean going live by customer placing an order and
yeah,
you giving a poor delivery experience? Is that what going live would mean? No,
yeah.
no, no.
Terrible. Yeah,
So I think that's a call that most people don't understand because they're all rushing into things. And I
yeah.
think, see, business in its core is an organic thing. No matter, yeah, definitely there are the fuels are very non-organic, money and
But
everything.
that's not
It has to
sustainable.
grow organically. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not sustainable. Correct. So look at the biggest of companies. How many companies have lasted 150 years?
no, yeah,
Hardly, like, definitely there are few, but hard because they all grown over time. It naturally takes time for brand people to take your product, use it, feel it, feel good about it,
yeah,
talk to their partners about
yeah.
it, then go to the site and talk more about it. Then they'll make a repeat purchase.
Hmm.
Then trust your next category also the same way.
Hmm.
So it's a cycle. And these cycles will take its own time.
Hmm.
Definitely feed in a lot of money, and you can definitely have everyone take one only for once, or carefully invest for make one person shop 5 times 5 or maybe 7 or maybe 10. The choice of growing that business is yours. We on Bootstrap feel that hey, certain things need to be feed organically to get the best results. So I always advise them to go the other way around, the longer route.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I was having a chat with another Shopify founder just yesterday, and we were just talking about valuations and stuff like that, right? So we raised some money from some VCs in the UK, some angels, right? And of course, what we're trying to do is a deep tech platform. As you said, building tech is expensive and stuff like that.
Correct.
But if that question came to, like, if somebody offered you saying your business is worth 200 million and will you give you money, will you take it? And I'm like, no, I'm never going to take it, because I know at the stage that I am in today, I cannot justify that value,
Correct. Correct.
right?
Correct.
Future, everybody's dreaming, everybody's trying to figure things out and hope they all make it in some shape and form, but never go and try to just do things for the heck of it. And if we are growing at a slower scale, burning less money than somewhere else, I'm happy to take that route, because I also understand the value of that time, and it takes time.
It takes.
Whatever you do, right?
Yeah, I think no certain businesses, and I realized it way later when I got a bit matured. Because see, back in now, back in 22, 23 years, it was like a very revolutionary thing to not take money and just do things on my own.
Yeah.
But I realized that hey, certain kind of businesses, certain kind of products would need
Yes.
money,
Yeah.
and money not coming in forms of money in form of the brains that you need to do it,
Yeah.
the infra that you need to do it,
Yeah.
the places where you need to implement it. So some businesses can't be built without money also.
Yeah.
It's a thing. So you need to understand what when we mean bootstrapping means, investing wisely. I think a lot of bootstrapping does not mean okay, don't take it.
Yeah.
Businesses have taken money, used it wisely, even returned 100x of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
What do you call them? I would call them better than a bootstrap one, because okay, with a certain kind of injection, if they were able to scale to a much more faster rate, then it's okay, because they were
absolutely.
able to eventually win in the longer way.
Yes.
So it's about the right capital, the right investment, and right steps. So I think bootstrap and that way, any company that has been funded in that manner are similar if they follow this trajectory.
Yeah, it's the mindset and the execution style what you talk about, sort of. I think, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Right, perfect. Um,
But
given
you
the,
say it's a one question. Sorry, I think you have asked a lot of questions. I have one question
yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
please.
When you started the business, what are three advices that you would give to any entrepreneur today? If I say that I want to start a business of my own, a tech product of my own, what are three advices you would like to
Oh my God, sort of. I was not prepared for this.
give?
Uh,
You know this in and out, so you tell me what are the three things.
no, I would. So I'll tell you. That I can write five Bibles on the kind of mistakes that I have done. Right,
Okay.
and just taking out 3 pages out of that. First, and the most simple one was, don't go and talk to people you know about validating your idea. Go and talk to people who are your real ICP, and your ICP will change over time, which is what happened to us as well. But right, the first one is they'll all be very nice to you. They'll say, build the product, I'll be ready to pay, but that doesn't happen. Right? Then I would say the second part is raise wisely. Right? Don't go crazy. It definitely takes more money that you had anticipated. There's no doubt about it. But don't go for valuations and insane amount of money, because if you are able to create something, every 1% of the equity also will have a value. Right?
Fair.
That's that.
Yeah,
And the third and very, very hard thing is, if you are trying to build something that people already know, it is a little easier. If you're trying to build something new, then you are in for a long haul.
correct,
Right?
correct,
And summing up all of this, the biggest mistake that we did is we tried to solve for too many problems. Pick one very small thing. Like if you go to product hunt today, right, it is amazing to see that if you can just go and put a comma, it will help you write 10 lines of code, which will save you 10 minutes of your time. That's it. And you just charge $5 for it. It's so crystal clear. I think that is something that we should have nailed down more and done it. Yeah, we are now trying to learn from those mistakes, and I hopefully other guys building don't do this, because it will save you a lot of time, money, and heartache.
correct, 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 correct. No, no, agree. I think I resonate because in this way or that, we have done all of these mistakes in our journey. So I
Sure.
totally resonate that these are fundamentals.
Yeah.
You can't deny.
And funny thing, sort of like, if you go and type on Google today, this will be this might be amongst the top 10 mistakes everybody does, right? But it's so hard that whatever people tell you, you still end up doing the same.
Yeah, no, no. I think it's
Because-
a.
yeah,
No, I think people a lot of times entrepreneurship now has become more sexy
yeah,
than it was earlier. Even people were entrepreneurs in the past also. It wasn't that glamorized. So a lot of people get in it for the quick thing, and I say that it does not pay well.
it,
It's a long, yeah, it's a long run, and if you are in it for a quick buck, it's not gonna pay well.
yeah.
So I think,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, after a few, pints of beer, this is, I always say, like, if I knew this would be so freaking hard, I would have thought multiple times hard about it, because every single day is so dynamic. Let's put it that way.
it is 100%. Me, Shashwat, Pravad, we all sit together. At times, I'll not say what their answers have been, but they say, ki, yaar, if you have to build it all again, can you do it? Well, sitting here, I don't feel like I can do it again. It has happened
It
once,
happened, yeah.
but God
Because
knows.
it
But
takes
yeah, I
your,
think it's
yeah, it takes your everything, and you were no thought. But then we have those amazing moments, those wins, those team building things, those like on Friday. It was like an intervention. We were on a team call, everybody, and they all looked at me and they're like, you tell us to have a good time all the time, you tell us to enjoy at work, look at your face, you are not doing it, so why are you not doing it? It's not a good thing. And I felt so nice about it, because so those are, you feel very proud of that, you're building something.
No, obviously, I think someone very, very recently, I was seeing someone's profile on Instagram, and they were traveling around, and I asked that, hey, what a chill time. So like, yeah, what's stopping you? And I said immediately that, there are a lot of people who depend, who have believed on us,
Yeah,
have put their faith that, okay, on at the top they will take right decisions, and their families depend. So I feel more responsible.
exactly.
They may sleep peacefully, but no,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
cannot.
but I am not.
So yeah, I think I resonate with
100%.
it.
So there are a couple of more questions.
Yes, yes.
One is, given the way you guys love technology, adapt it, etc., right? With whole AI coming to space, and even on the Shopify side of things, right? There are those big players, right? From Klaviyo to Gorgeous to this, all these guys using AI in a very different way. Right? How do you think, in your line of work or the brand side, AI is going to come, and do you think it's going to revolutionize a few things?
Uh, it is first thing first. AI is inevitable. It's gonna come. It is coming. It's gonna make impacts in the best and worst way possible.
Hmm.
So there is no fighting against it.
Hmm.
What we as a company right now have taken a backseat to understand that, okay, let's see where it's going, rather than, because see, to understand, to develop knowledge around it, or to think about how it's going to work and impact, we need to really invest time and energy into it.
Hmm.
And I see a lot of our partners, see, we're working with you again, you are using it. So we see a lot of our partners already using it, and every day we are learning from, wow, these are also great implementation examples that AI can bring.
Hmm.
So I feel it's definitely making jobs easier,
Hmm.
but but I think it's always, there are AIs can do things done,
Hmm.
uh, but someone needs to feed
Yeah.
that, okay, this needs to be done.
Yeah.
So we as a company right now are on the way to think of what more needs to be done.
Yeah.
And the current scenario, we have a lot of partners
Hmm.
like you
Hmm.
working on it, and we are learning from them that, okay, what all can the use cases be.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I think there are so many things which are happening at the moment, and things are evolving anyways, right? So
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
space to definitely watch out for.
correct.
By the way, I have to say this, that when I came to your office as well, Anand showed me around, and there is something which you guys do there, which is amazing, right? And I want to bring it out in front of everybody, because I'm not sure how many people know about it. You guys go to smaller cities, bring those students, very young college graduates, bring them to your office, give them all the training, and then help them with employment, or you guys absorb them. This is so noble, Saurav, and it's so nice. uh, how did this whole thing came about?
So I think there is a what happened is, because we come from such backgrounds.
Hmm.
Most of the people, I would say, at Marmeto come from those humble backgrounds, and they have all made what Marmeto is today.
Hmm.
So the idea was that, okay, how do we really contribute it back? And we said the best way is to contribute in the things that we know. So that led to the thought of Visa, which is a different initiative altogether.
Hmm.
Uh, and the concept is to really get on people who are deprived of opportunities,
Hmm.
and bring them on board, support them in the best way possible, and then help them be back in the ecosystem. No, it's all for the commerce ecosystem, that
Hmm.
whether they work with us, they work in a different company, doesn't matter, as long as their lives are changing, because we care most about that they are now contributing back, and they are now being able to support their family in the best way possible. So I think that's more fulfilling to us than they work with us or anywhere.
Yeah.
And that, obviously, that business, I would not say it's a business, but definitely every activity you do is nuanced with some level of
True.
finances.
True.
So we're still working on to figure out what is the right model,
Hmm.
How do we really make it happen? Because this side is also a bootstrapped
Hmm.
venture that has also growing on its own.
Hmm.
So how do you really balance the nuances? We are still thinking about it, but yeah, that's one thing that we do. We have trained a lot of batches that way.
But when you go and do noble things like this, the end result of all this is always very good. So this is amazing what you guys are doing there, really.
No. Thank you.
And now comes to the last question, sort of. This is the toughest one, right? So brace yourself. The way I say it is, for me and for everybody watching, you have to go and share something with us that you've never told.
Okay, that I've never told.
Never told anyone, or it's a funny incident, or something happened to you.
E- Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it happened. We were very early in our business,
Yeah,
and I got an opportunity, and that opportunity had me travel good 15, 16 kilometers in Bangalore. It's a thing.
yeah,
Uh, and I went to that company's office, and my laptop at that time couldn't be like used without a charger. I had to really plug the charger to keep it
wow,
running.
yeah, yeah,
I went and I was sitting outside waiting for the members. One person came out, and I saw that he was wearing a tie of Armani. Uh,
hmm,
I was like, okay, ठीक है. This is getting tough. I went inside, and there was a half circular table with some good eight, four, five men, women sitting.
hmm,
And I went there. He said, okay, yeah, come down. What do you have to present? And I started plugging my laptop's
yeah,
cable. And they said, what are you doing? I said, sorry, sir, my cable doesn't work. And then they said, why are you even here in this presentation? I said, so all I can say is that, the person went out. How expensive is his tie? That my presentation is even cheaper than that. So in Hindi, I said it कि सर जितनी महंगी उनकी टाई है उतना तो उतने का मेरा मंथली का बजट है.
yeah,
And they were like, okay. And definitely that did not go through then.
yeah.
I came out, and it was very, because I remember we paid a really big amount to even travel.
Okay,
So
yeah,
because every penny at that time mattered. So I came back. I was very depressed. यार ये क्या हुआ?
hmm,
4 years down the line, I think the brand reached out to us saying that
excellent.
we want to build something, and the person did not recognize me. I said, that's why I came to your office, but happy to. And we worked with them, and it
Yeah,
went well. So I think that is one thing that has happened, and I think it was life in its circle. Because early days were really tough. I think we, for 5 rupees to save on a paratha,
yeah,
me and Shashwat, because Prabhat that time was still in college, me and Shashwat walked 3 kilometers extra,
hmm,
saying, ki, yeah, here we have in $35 we get two parathas, there in
hmm,
$40 we get one bigger one.
yeah,
So that's more filling. So let's go there. So initially, those times, were really difficult. So I think back then it mattered a lot. But
no,
yeah, this
totally.
is, I don't
No,
think a lot of people know.
no, what I said, I think sort of, I think that's the whole journey. What I think it should matter even now to everyone. We try to have something similar, and even our side, that it's not just about money; it's about the mindset, right? And what you've done is given a very beautiful lesson that with persistence and patience, what didn't happen 4 years back, it'll come back to you.
It'll come back to you. I think as long as you are honest in your approach,
Yeah.
I think it eventually is going to pay off.
Yeah,
So
and you're really depressed. Deals don't go through. Customers don't sign up. Money, commercial matter, this and that, whatever, right? But if you continue doing, I think it'll all come back to you, and that is a beautiful, beautiful message to kind of wrap the session up with, Saurabh. Thank you
thank you
so
very
much.
much.
It was really, really amazing talking to you, spending some good time in the conversation, and I looking forward to doing this one on one also soon.
No, no, very perfect, perfect. Very, very, very nice of you to connect. And I think we'll definitely catch up next time when you are in our office. I'll personally come and sit, and we'll have one more session together there.
Let's do that. And thank you for your time, Saurabh. All the best.
Thank
And,
you.
we can't wait to hear more and more brands working with you guys.
No, no, same. Thank you. We keep doing good work together, and we keep growing together. Thank you very much.